So not long ago I made a video where I spoke about how Cataclysm WoW shouldn't be launched and that Blizzard should actually make a new Classic Era expansion, a real vanilla plus that people have been speculating and hoping for. One of the things that I said in that video did actually get some pushback, and some people were shocked at me saying that the retail WoW community and the Classic Era community were comparable in size. This is something that a lot of people just assume to be total BS, and Stay Safe even reacted to my video and had a similar take. And then he went on Google Trends and tested it out for himself and put in Wrath of the Lich King and Dragonflight. The amount of people searching for Wrath of the Lich King at the time of the announcement was higher than the amount of people searching for Dragonflight at the time of its announcement. And he was shocked to find out that was the case.
Sleepybox says if you just search WOTLK, it actually is higher than Dragonflight. I will be shocked if that is true. If that is true, I will be astounded. Holy f***. Bro, Jesus. Wow.
And a lot of people are in a similar position. They do not expect the Classic Era players to outnumber the retail WoW players, but I think that actually might be the case. Now, I understand that Google Trends isn't necessarily a one-to-one of how many people are actually playing a game. Unfortunately, we don't have the numbers from Blizzard. We don't have access to what Blizzard actually knows, which is how many people are actually playing either version of the game. All we can go off is numbers on the internet, and Google Trends is a pretty good sample size. It's everybody searching on Google throughout the world. It's not a one-to-one, but if you put into Google Trends the name of any video game, you'll see that it pretty much correlates with how much it is in the public zeitgeist, and I can totally accept that this might be a fluke. For some reason, Wrath of the Lich King players are more inclined to search about their game than people for Dragonflight. Like, okay, let's just assume that is the case. If we look at other statistics for how popular either version of the game is, I think at a certain point you kind of have to just accept that the Classic Era player base is comparable to the retail WoW player base. So let's look at two YouTube channels. One is called Will E and the other is called Taliesin and Evertail. Now these guys both make update videos for their version of the game. Will E makes Classic Era update videos talking about patches and balance and the metagame of Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and Taliesin makes videos specific to retail WoW. So it's fair to say that if you're watching either of these channels, you're playing that version of the game. It's quite unlikely that if you're not playing Wrath of the Lich King Classic, that you're going to watch Will E videos, and vice versa for Taliesin and Evertail. Now, looking at these two channels, you can see that the view counts of their videos are pretty damn comparable. Will E's videos tends to have views that fluctuate a bit more, but I think both of these YouTubers have viewership that averages out to be about the same. These are pretty much the biggest update channels for their respective version of the game. So if retail WoW was just dwarfing Classic Era WoW, you'd think the retail WoW update channel that is the most popular would be dwarfing the equivalent Classic Wrath channel in viewership. And you know, we're only talking about Wrath of the Lich King here. You know, we're not counting the TBC and the Classic WoW players. We're just talking about Wrath Classic here. And the reason why I bring these numbers up is because I can accept someone denying that the Google Trends statistics aren't accurate. I mean, it is Google and it is a huge sample size, so it's not bloody likely that it's inaccurate, but let's just say that is the case. If we look at all these other statistics and, you know, numbers that we can see from other ways that we can predict the amount of people playing each version of the game, at a certain point, it becomes bad faith to say that the Classic Era player base of WoW is a tiny minority. Let's just call a spade a spade. The WoW player base is split in two halves. There is the retail WoW side and there is the Classic Era side. What I'm saying is that if we are about half of the WoW player base, I do think we should get some more investment from Blizzard than just copy and pasting game files and launching them in new classic servers. I think at some point Blizzard should actually make genuine new content for the classic era community, a vanilla plus or classic era expansion that is brand new. Let's just say that half of the active players on WoW are on the retail side and in the classic era side. Shouldn't we get our own expansion too? We're giving Blizzard a lot of profit. I think that they should invest back into us and create a new classic era experience and actually develop some new content, some genuine new content, because that's what they do for the retail WoW side. Like every few years they get their own new expansion and a tremendous amount of effort is put into making new raids, dungeons, specs, blah blah blah. They get plenty of content. But the classic era side, yeah, we get like vanilla WoW, TBC and Wrath, and maybe Cataclysm next, which is basically just Blizzard copy and pasting files. I know it's not literally that, but that's kind of what it is. I think a lot of classic WoW players have this battered wife syndrome where they don't really think that they're worthy to get Blizzard's investment. It's just, no, like, look at the numbers. We're bigger than we think. You know, if we were like 20% of the Google Trend searches and YouTube views and traffic stats, yeah, I'd accept, okay, fine. We probably don't warrant brand new content being made for us. Just look at the numbers. We're quite a big community. You know, we're not this tiny niche. We've come a long way since the days of you think you do, but you don't.
Remember when you had to like spam cities and say, need a tank, need a tank, need a tank during the Burning Crusade days? You don't remember that. Because now you just push a button that says go to the dungeon.
You know, I think at a certain point, we should expect a bit more than just copy and pasting game files and throwing them on a server. That strategy has worked up till now because, you know, us old school WoW players, we wanted to play vanilla WoW as it was, TBC as it was, Wrath of the Lich King as it was. And when we get to Cataclysm, that's when a divide starts to happen, when some people think that's not really the classic version of the game, and some people do think it's the classic version of the game. I think Cataclysm is where there is a split in the road as to whether or not we consider this classic WoW or not. But I think now is the time for Blizzard to actually invest some money into the classic era community. So I think we need to be a little bit more vocal with Blizzard when it comes to what we can expect from them. I don't think we should just be grateful that we're getting Wrath and Cataclysm and so on. I do think that we should expect a bit more. Blizzard have kind of put their toe in the pool when it came to Classic and the Season of Mastery servers, which isn't new content. They added a few more mechanics to some raid bosses, but it's not really new content, is it? Some slight tweaks to Molten Core bosses, in my opinion, is not Vanilla Plus. I don't think Blizzard invested nearly as much when it came to developing Season of Mastery as they did a whole new expansion for retail WoW. I think we should expect a lot more from Blizzard, to be honest. We've kind of proven ourselves that when Blizzard were saying that, you know, you think you do but you don't, you know, this whole idea that the older version of the game was only appealing to people for nostalgia reasons doesn't apply anymore when we're like, what, like 5 years in? 4 or 5 years in, and there's still a huge amount of people playing classic era WoW. I think us classic era players need to have a bit more bass on our tone when it comes to Blizzard and actually expect some investment into us. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe for more videos like this.